What's your worst confrontation with a vegan? I hired this babysitter named Mira from a Facebook parenting group last spring. She seemed perfect, studying early childhood education, calm voice, said she loved kids. I have 2 kids, Emma's 4 and Jake's 6, and I just needed someone 3 days a week while I worked. First 2 weeks went great. Mira was always on time. Kids seemed happy when I got home. But then I started noticing weird stuff. My kids were absolutely starving every single day when I picked them up. Like, they'd be begging for snacks the second I walked in the door. At first I thought maybe they were just going through growth spurts or being picky eaters. Kids do that, right? But then one night I was throwing away takeout containers and saw something that made my stomach drop. Their lunch containers from that day were sitting in my trash can, completely untouched. The peanut butter sandwiches I'd made, string cheese, apple slices, goldfish crackers, everything just thrown away like garbage. I was confused as hell. Were my kids not eating lunch? Were they sick? I asked Emma about it and she just shrugged and said Miss Mira gave them different food. That's when I remembered I had a baby monitor with a camera in the playroom. I'd never really checked the footage before, but I pulled it up from earlier that day. What I saw made me want to throw up. Mira sits my kids down at their little table, takes out all the food I packed, and dumps it straight into the trash. Every single thing. Then she goes to my fridge and pulls out lettuce, raw carrots, and some almond butter she must have brought herself. She serves my 4-year-old and 6-year-old dry lettuce leaves and raw carrots with a tiny bit of almond butter. That's it, for lunch. My kids are sitting there looking confused and hungry, but they're trying to eat it because they're good kids. I was furious, but I wanted to catch her in the act. So the next day I pretended to leave for work like normal, drove around the block, and parked where I could see through my front window. Sure enough, same routine. Trash goes all my food, out comes the rabbit food. I waited until she served them, and then I burst through that front door like a crazy person. Mira, what the hell are you doing? I'm standing there pointing at my kids who are nibbling on lettuce leaves looking miserable. She doesn't even flinch, just looks at me with this smug expression and says, feeding them animal products is child abuse. I'm doing what's right for them. I lost it. Are you insane? You're starving my children. I fired her on the spot and demanded my house key back. She crosses her arms and says, I'm not giving you anything. I'm calling CPS and reporting you for child abuse. I slammed the door in her face and changed my locks that same day. I thought that was the end of it. Nope. 1 week later, there's a knock on my door. It's a CPS worker. Mira actually followed through and reported me for child abuse because I feed my kids normal food. The worker was this nice lady named Janet who seemed pretty skeptical from the start. She asked to see my kids, checked my fridge, asked basic questions. Then I showed her the baby monitor footage of Mira throwing away all the food and serving my kids lettuce. Janet's eyes went wide. Then I showed her the text messages where Mira admitted to replacing the food because animal products are poison. I even had texts she sent to her friend bragging about rescuing my kids from dairy and meat. Janet shook her head and said she'd never seen anything like it. She closed the case right there and said I should consider filing a police report for what Mira did.